That's fine. I get that, but you're wrong and I hate you.
You better back off, girlfriend.
Alrighty. How's everybody doing tonight? King and Corvina, good to see you. Glad to have you. Switch over my my scene that is in a bit of a disarray right now, because normally I do all this before I go live, but I did not today. Somewhere around there. We are going to work on Mr. Boss Snikrot's base. Oops, I didn't mean to turn music off. Yeah, we're gonna work on his base and finishing him up, any other little details that we need to do, but as you can see, he is, focus his way in. He's mostly finished now. There's a few things I want to touch up and do, but otherwise he is gonna be ready to go on his base. His backpack is on now, so he's a little back heavy. So as you can see, if I focus here, I've already gone in and I've stuck some, these are like the aquarium plants. I cut some little pieces off, glued them on there along with a rock, and used some texture paint, and I primed over everything. So, because for one, these obviously these were already green, but they were like that neon fish tank green, which looks very weird and unnatural. And I needed a way to paint it. If I tried to just paint it without priming it, it would have not stuck at all. And then, even though I used the texture paint, which was already green, I had to do the texture paint around the plant so it looks like it fits and it's not just like molded around it. So yeah, so that's what we're gonna work on now. I'm gonna use a mixture of greens. I'm actually gonna start with Death World Forest, which if you've been watching, you know was actually the color that I used for the very base of his skin. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to paint this Then I'm going to wash it so it's actually going to be a darker tone. And then I'm going to highlight up from there. I'm going to highlight up from there. I really need something. I guess I could use my actual base holder for this. I don't know how well that would work. Let me see. Maybe if I put it at the highest level. That'll probably work actually. So I'm gonna start off here. Just go in with. The other thing is when I wash it too, it'll bring back all the little crevices and stuff, because when I paint, the crevices will still be there, but the paint is going to be all one, you know, solid color. So when I wash it with the Agrax Earthshade, it'll bring back that depth that I'm looking for. I hope. I mean, I've never actually done it this way before. I've always just used the texture paint as is, because it's like an underbrush green color, so it's always been kind of good the way it is. It's the first time I've actually primed and painted a ground, but I think it'll be pretty good. Should get all the little angles everywhere. If I get some on the rock, it's no big deal, because the rock, I mean, it would have stuff growing on it in a forest, jungle, whatever. Yes, I'm using my big, what I call my big dumper brush for this. It's usually the brush I mainly use to dump a large amount of paint on things or on my palette. Just because it covers a big area at once, and I don't exactly need to be careful right now. What's up, Acid? How you doing, man? Just trying to get old Snikrot finished up here. A little glob of paint there, I don't want that. So yeah, you can see the texture on there. It'll still come through. We're just gonna cover it really well and then let it dry. I'm trying to decide what I want to do next, because I have so many things to paint now that I have the Beast Snaga Orc box. I've got like 50 models to paint, so trying to decide what I want to tackle next. I've got all my Chaos units still as well. I got these ones that I already went ahead and primed up and are ready to go. Dark Apostle and his disciples. Oops. They're all ready to go. And I've got my Venom Crawlers ready to go, my Master Possessions ready to go. I was thinking, since I have the option, I could go kind of back and forth and do like one Orc unit, then one Chaos unit, then one Orc unit, just kind of go back and forth, mix it up. I think I'm going to use, oop, I don't knock all my brushes over. Grab another brush here. Grab some Eshin Gray. I'm gonna base the rock in Eshin Gray, but we're gonna do some cool like greens and stuff on it. So I give it a yo. Pew's entrance is so loud. What's up, Pew Pew? How you doing? But yeah, we're gonna do some greens on top of it. Try to give it almost look like it has moss on it. Just trying to shake my Eshin Gray up right now. Let's grab Ash and Gray and throw it on my palette. I don't need a whole lot. Doing le good. That's good, man. Glad to hear it. I know I promised we'd do some gaming, and I didn't lie. When I'm so close to finishing a mini, it's like it's hard to stop. And with him, I'm so close. Like, all I really had to do was a few touch-ups in his base. I'm like, I really don't want to skip a night, so I compromised and I said I'll just do another painting stream. And then if I can get him all finished up tonight, then we can do gaming stream tomorrow. The reason why I'm doing this next is because the plant is like right up against the rock, so if I accidentally hit the plant with any of the rock colors, it's not a big deal because I haven't painted the plant yet. And I'm also going to do some greens on the rock anyway to give it like a mossy feel, so if I accidentally get some green on the rock while I'm painting the plant, it's no big deal. So I wanted to do that anyway. There's sometimes a method to my madness. Not always, but sometimes. I did play a little bit of 14 last night. Got a few main story quests knocked out. Getting close to 77. Which I haven't been really like hardcore trying to level. I haven't even been doing my roulettes or anything. I know who plays video games. Alright, so I'm gonna have to let that dry. But yeah, here's Snikrot. He's mostly done. There's a few things on his backpack I wasn't super happy with. I was gonna try to touch up. The backpack itself looks pretty good. It's got that worn weathered look to it, but there's a couple other things that I wanted to touch up on it. Yeah, I followed Crowfall for a while, but just like all those other MMOs, it's like once I've been waiting for it to come out for years, I start to lose interest in really following it anymore. And I'm just like, eh. So I haven't actually checked it out since it released. I played a little of the New World beta, and it was okay. I don't know if I'll pick it up for full price, but I could see it as something I could enjoy at times. What I was thinking was the nights that I feel like painting, I could work on one of my chaos units, and then if I don't feel like painting, I could start putting together my new orc beast snaga set. Start working on getting them put together and ready to paint. Although some of them I'm gonna paint sub-assembly, I'm sure, because like the riders and things, painting the squigs separate from the riders would be a lot easier for me. Oh, and the wart snaga guy, what's his name? The guy with all the crazy hair. I'll probably have to do all his hair separate because that's everywhere. So yeah, welcome to my stream. We're watching paint dry. It's still pretty wet in there. Didn't you guys always want to go to a stream and watch paint dry? I've run out of cool stuff to show you guys. I mean, I've showed you all my new models and everything, so This is what I told Crystal. She was like, you should stream, and I'm like, but this is gonna be really boring. Cause like, doing bases in itself isn't super exciting. But then on top of that, you have to wait between every like thing you do, every layer you do for it to dry. I think, so I'm gonna do the plants. I think I'll do the plants in a different shade of green, and then I'll do like the tips of the leaves and a lighter shade of green, and then the lightest I'll mix some of the yellow in with the green and make it really bright on top. I mean, I guess if I wanted to, I could start working on painting plants. Alright, as I figured I would, I pulled out too much gray. I knew better what I was doing. I was like, I'm not gonna need that much gray, and then I pulled out too much gray. But I've got it on my palette if I need to fix anything on the rock at least. Alright, let's see if we can make some green plants here. Honestly, it would have been much easier to do these plants with the airbrush, but that would have been even more because I would have had to have like done the base coat. Since I'm doing the plants a different color than the ground, I would have had to have covered all the ground with something so that I didn't just go over all of it with the lighter shade of green. And that would have been a whole project. This will be fine though, we'll get it. Never had to paint anything like this before, so this is an experience. I'm trying to be really light because I mean this is just a little, essentially a twig of plastic glued onto the base. But if I'm too rough with it, there's a chance it could come unglued, and then that's gonna be a big pain in the ass to fix. So how's everybody's Monday going? I was playing a lot of catch up at work since I was off work since Wednesday. I was off Thursday and Friday for us to go on our trip, so it's been a large portion of today just trying to catch up and read all my 100 emails that I had and reply and try to get our schedule together for the rest of the week and next week. It's hard to make sure I'm not missing all these little, there's so many little branches. Every time I think I'm done with a complete branch, I rotate and it's like, nope, you didn't get that side. Thought about using my bigger brush, but I was worried that for one, I would be too rough with it, and two, I'd end up painting over everything that I already painted. So I can get a little on the grass, the ground or whatever, but I don't want to get big splotches that I have to fix. Oh shit, I think I tipped that a little too much that way. That'll be fine. Got some green paint on my fingers. On my fingies. Down here, and here. So hard to get coverage on some of these leaves. I said the airbrush would have worked wonders on these things. If I had really been smart, I would have primed and airbrushed these separate or something, but just trying to paint them kind of a pain in the butt. I think we're almost done with this one though. Ooh, that was a loud thunderclap outside. That's not good.
You're a cow! You wanna get high?
Raven, what's up, my dude? Good to see ya. Well, I mean, I see you in Discord every day, but still. Where you going? Painting leaves sucks. I should have looked up some. She's so rude to everybody. Yeah, she's always rude to everybody. Usually not that rude, but you know, you bring that out of her. Finishing a workday and trying to do my job around losing power every 10 minutes. Oof, that sucks, man. Sorry to hear that. It's good to see you at the stream though, man. It's been a hot minute. It's been a hot minute. Yeah, you should be. You should definitely be used to it at this point. Saying I should have looked up some like terrain painting tips before I started this, because holy hell, is this a pain in the ass? Although number one might have been use an airbrush. I'll probably be able to get away with dry brushing this shit a lot once I get the base all down. Gotta get a nice solid base coat of the green. This isn't better than her, Dr. Mario. Damn right. She'll get past level 1 one of these days. Yeah, I was just saying, I think after I finish Snikrot here, I'll probably start on one of my chaos units. And then on the nights that I don't feel like painting anything, I can start putting together the the new orc beast snaggers. Start getting them assembled and ready to go. So much to do, man. Not that I'm complaining, because I do's enjoy it. Alright. Time to wash the ground to give it some depth before we dry brush it. I've almost exhausted this bottle of Agrax Earthshade. But I have another one, don't worry. Once I saw how fast I was going through it before, I was like, I need to get another bottle. Of course, then I stopped using it for like a lot of my orcs. And like I used to use it on my orc skin a lot. Because it was a good kind of grimy shade. But then I decided to stop using washes for the most... The hell was that? She's out there breaking shit. But yeah, I decided to stop really using washes for my skin, and I didn't really need it as much anymore. I throw a little on this rock too. Since I'm gonna dry brush the rock, I just hit the thing a little. It's okay, I'll touch that up. Thanks, man. I like it. I think he's coming along good. I got, I said a few things I want to touch on Snikrot himself, but the, for the most part, I'm happy with him. Alright. It looks pretty dark right now, but trust me, it'll be fine. Once it dries up, we're gonna brighten it right back up. It'll have some really nice depth, I think. So I'm gonna layer some different dry brushing on it to give it. I can dry brush the whole thing with one shade, right, to give it that like top grass feel. But then I can do an even brighter shade and like the areas where there's not gonna be anything over top of it to kind of mimic like sun hitting it. Got a plan, okay? I usually have a plan. Alright, that's gonna take a hot minute to dry, so I'm gonna look at Snikrot here and kinda decide, the one thing is the metallics are all really the same color, and I'm not a big fan of that, so I would like to, maybe I'll grab some brass. Usually, yep. Right, I'm just gonna grab some of this. I love this brass color. It's a Room Lord brass. Let's get some of that off the brush. Let's see. I think I'll do maybe this little piece here with it. It's mainly just like trying to pick out little things, so because on one hand I don't want to overload it with colors, so when you look at it, it's like, man, this guy's a commando and he's looking like a clown over here. But on the other, if all the metallics are the same color, then it just kind of all bleeds together, and you don't get any contrast between what's what. Which is no bueno. Just those little things. Like, see, it already gave it a little more definition. I like it. But I hope you've been doing good, Raven. Like I said, man, it's always good to chat with you. We'll be at 5:30. I hear that, man. I'm gonna work on a couple other things here while I'm waiting for the wash to dry. I mean, I feel like I talk to you every day, but it's a little different when I actually get to talk to you live. She says that. She says she's the best. We have no proof. I gotta... Dude, do you have trouble with your whites being super chunky? I don't know what it is. All of my whites, my pallid white flesh, my white scar, and my Corax white are all so damn chunky, it's not even funny. Like my Corax white, I literally had to put water in it and mix it because it had turned into like this thick sludge. Also not distracting in Discord. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I like Discord, because it has that almost message board feel. So like if you can't actually sit and chat, you can leave messages and talk that way. It's just white is the hardest thing because all goes, yeah, okay, as long as it's just not me. I'm like, man, this old chunky white over here. Right now I'm mixing some of the pallid white flesh with Xandri dust. And I'm gonna do some highlights on this little bone thing up here. So I do my best to never use white on top of anything, yeah. Well, I usually use white to mix with other things. So like this, you know, I was using this to mix with Xandri dust to hit this thing so I can do like a little bit of highlighting on it. So it doesn't look so plain. It just gives it a little bit more, you know. Check Discord if you have a sec. Okay, hold on. Rinse my brush because that white will also crud my brush up really fast too. Let's see. Yeah, I use Xandri dust a lot, man. I actually will probably need to get some Xandri dust not too long. This stuff lasts a long time though. Xandri dust is so good for like bones and orc teeth and things like that. You can use it for so many things, and you can shade it to also meet other needs, so it's a really nice color to work with. Let's see. What am I looking for? Pew pew. That's really funny. Bro, dude, bro, guy, man. Sick, bro. That's funny. Damn it. Bring it back here. Pretty much, most of us have too many reasons. I'm not white's first player. Fuck all that white, yeah. Oh god, that would be a nightmare. It's bad enough having to work with it when I have to, which is not very often. With my orcs and my chaos, I don't have to use pure white really almost ever. It's usually just... I like to use it in a mix with the like the pallid white flesh or witch flesh or whatever it's supposed to be. because it's kind of like that off-white color. It mixes really well with Xandri dust to give the bones that, you know, almost like bleached bone look on the top. Just so it doesn't look like, you know. The Xandri dust by itself with nothing else on it looks kind of plain, but if you highlight it, sometimes I do like Agrax Earthshade on top of it, and then I highlight it, and it gives it like that old bones, but then like bleached on the top bones. I don't know, I'm still learning as I go. Still figuring things out. I think that's one of the coolest things about this hobby is like, even though I've been doing this for about 4 months, which I know is a lot less compared to a lot of other people, still keep learning new things, man. How'd you put flowers on? These are, you know, aquariums, the fake plastic plants that they have in aquariums, that's what this is. I chopped a little few bits off, and we're using it because Snikrot stalks the jungles of Armageddon. So what better way to show that than creating a small jungle on his base? Oh, thanks, Raven. I appreciate it, man. You guys always make me feel really good about my progress, and I appreciate that. Only wars and hammers, no flowers. They actually sell flowers, like the little tufts of grass that you use. They sell ones that are flowers too, if you actually want to have flowers. I can't see a reason why I would ever want them unless I was doing like, I don't know, elves or some shit. Orcs don't like no flowers. Because see, the idea is, when this is all said and done, I'll have to place them correctly, but he'll be stalking the jungle. Can't get him all the way down in there just now. Preview of kind of what the end product will be. He's leaning right now because I don't have him placed, but there's always, generally speaking, a method to my madness, so. You can get synthwave colored grass. Well, I have that one that I use for my chaos. It's called like Alien Fire. That's what this one is. The red with the yellow. And they had some other ones too, but I didn't really have a need for them just yet. Yeah, like I really wanted the feel like he was stalking through the jungle because that was his whole, you know, his whole profile and the description of him. So I'm like, I'm gonna go all out. He's a boss unit, he's a elite, whatever. An orc of certain renown. Let's do him justice. Alright. The wash seems to be mostly dry. So, take this. Actually, I think I want to mix a little bit. Hold on, let me grab a little bit of this. Let's do that. like magic. Like magic, we are creating some definition to this ground. We're not going to go too far into the plants because we want the under the plants to be darker because there would be shadow there. Right? It makes sense. Post in Discord where I get my grass finished strip of the grass you use perfect and much more cost effective. The grass that's on my Chaos guys, that alien fire, that's called like gamer grass. The local store had it. And I mean, it wasn't expensive. I think it was like $5 or something. And it goes a long way. I mean, I used it on all my Chaos units so far, and I still have a ton left in there. I'm not talking to you, Google. I hate when my phone does that. Really? Damn. I guess I am getting a good deal then. Maybe you get more in a pack in yours or something? Now that I've done the ground, I'm doing the rock because there's less of the paint on the brush. I'm just gonna put some on top of it just to make it look kind of like there's moss growing on this rock. We just want it to look like there's some moss growing on it. So we want to go heavier at the bottom. This is already starting to come together. All right. So now that we've got a little bit of definition to that, I am going to, I want to grab some, I could actually, for this I could probably just use Eshin green. Let me double check. He's going to be standing. This is so hard because I got to move the grass every time. Okay, so he's going to be staying there. About there, so the very edges on this side and this side is what we want to hit. So, hold on, I might actually have one close to the front here of my desk. Where is it? So, this is the grass. I mean, you can see there's a shit ton in there. And I've already done all those Chaos units. I've done 10 Marines, 2 Obliterators, and 2 Greater Possessed, and all of them have at least 1 Tuft, if not 2 Tufts. A couple of them have 2 Tufts. And I still have all this left to use. So I mean, like I said, for that price, you can't beat it. They have other packs that are a little more expensive. I don't know if they're bigger Tufts or something else, but I mean, like I said, for the price, I'm not going to complain because that's going to last me for basically all of my Chaos army. Alright, I'm just going to grab some Eshin green now. This is a lighter, almost yellower green, which is why it's good for spots that are going to be sunnier. And for that, we're gonna hit the edges especially because there'll be sun there. Just a tiny bit on the rock. Just enough so that it looks like there's sun hitting in. Same thing over here, just around the very edge. And here, Sorry, I got out of frame there. And here we're going to go a little bit further in. Yeah, see, that's why I figured, because the more expensive ones I think had like the longer millimeter sizes and stuff, so that would make sense. So yeah, the Eshin green is going to brighten up the outer edges where there's not shadows and stuff, and give us a little bit more. And I might even, I don't know, let's see how we can make this look. Because I'm going to do this for the plants anyway, so I'm going to take some Everland Sunset, I'm going to put it on my palette. Alright, man, I appreciate you coming by to hang for a bit. I will definitely be posting whatever I got done here in Discord, so take it easy, my friend. Alright, so let's mix the Eshin, or Eshin, the Elysian gray. I keep saying Eshin because I was using Eshin gray before. Elysian green. We're gonna mix that with the Everland Sunset to get a even more yellowish green. What that's gonna do is make it look even brighter in those sunny areas. And also I'm gonna use this color for the tops of the leaves too, since they'll be nice and bright as well. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab just not much of this, just a wee bit of this, just enough so that we can hit like right in here and right in here. Almost not even gonna be able to see the difference. Like, it's just gonna be the faintest difference in tone. That's exactly what we want to happen. Well, that's what I want to have happen. So you guys can see in the very middle it's still very dark because that's where Snikrot is going to be standing. Therefore it would be shadow underneath his legs, and you know, it wouldn't be bright there. It's my story and I'm sticking to it. Alright, so now I'm going to do almost the same thing here with the plants. I'm going to grab, brush out really good. This is dry brushing, not damp brushing. I appreciate everybody hanging out while we do some more painting. I don't think I've ever done bases on stream before. I mean, it's usually not the most exciting part of painting a model, so. Alright, now we're gonna go in here. Oh, I might have to be a little wetter with this because I can't put a lot of force on this. I might have to actually load this up a little more. Oh yeah, that's working better. Okay, cool. This is how we learn, man. This is how we learn. And I'm trying to only hit certain spots. It's not real easy, but the goal is that it looks like it would in real life, where the stuff towards the sun the most will be brighter naturally, and then the stuff towards the bottom will be darker because it would be in the shadows. I'm mainly trying to brush this in over the tips of the outer ones. This is kind of hard. I'm having a hard time getting the paint to stick because it's just moving with the brush. That's starting to look like something. After I do this, I might just go in with an actual brush and do highlighting that way, because this is, I thought this was going to save time, but it really, really isn't. It really does not seem to be saving any kind of time. Sorry, Pew Pew, I still haven't gotten around to that yet. I literally only use this laptop when I'm streaming. Like, I set it up to stream, and then as soon as the stream's over, I break it back down. I promise I will get around to it. It's really not that hard. It's just I gotta get the file off the other computer, and I haven't done that yet. Well, I got some of them done. That's why I said when I got the bot over here, I tried to get as many as I could, but for some reason, some of them were saved in one folder and others were not. So when I went to try to actually set everything back up, certain things I was like, oh crap, I don't have don't have that sound file for some reason. So I did not mean to bamboozle you, sir. Promise. These leaves are starting to look like something though. Starting to look a little more realistic. A little bit more like jungle brush. Some areas I can see that are still black, but I'm gonna have to just go in with the brush and try to get with my original green, as much as I don't want to do that. I'm sitting here, I'm seeing some areas that are like pure black still. This one even has some Death World forest on it. I never covered up. It's coming along though. We're getting there. I think. Oops. Oh, there's another thunderclap. Because the thing is, when he's standing here, these are gonna kind of get pushed a little, which is gonna mean they're gonna have the most sun. So I'm trying to keep that in mind while I'm doing these. You know, it's getting bad out there. I wonder how, if it would look out of, well, maybe not pure Averlin, but maybe mostly Averlin. And just hit like the very, 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 very tips. Hold my mat there. I think that is looking pretty darn good. We've got a little bit of moss on the rock there. Now, thing is, I've got to try to get him in there to where his feet aren't off the ground like they are right now. I think about right there is where I want to be. One foot is still kind of off the ground. I don't know if that's... Alright. Hopefully this ends up like I want it, because we're gonna just go ahead and do this. So I need you to get right here. I want you standing on the other plant. I want you standing slightly in front of the other plant. I gotta get both your feet down. That's the hard part, is I can't really, I don't have a good spot to hold his feet down. I'm gonna hold this for a minute to make sure the glue adheres. Nothing worse than painting something, gluing it down, and then as you're finishing up, it comes unglued, and you're like, ah. It's only been live for about an hour. I thought this was going to take a little longer than it did. I'm not going to mess with him too much until I know for sure that he's dry, but... I like that. That's pretty tight. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty damn awesome. That says sneaking through the jungle to me. I gotta just finish letting him dry before I take him off of here, because I want to make sure that glue has at least a few more minutes to set. Just because it's a textured surface that he's standing on, so... Thanks, King. I appreciate it, man. I'm especially glad that you like him since you got him for me. I think he came together real nice. I'll take some really nice pictures of him once I'm all finished up. Like I did with my other ones, I'll put some white paper down, get my good camera here off, and take photos. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and put, I don't think I'm gonna probably try to paint anything else right now. To be honest, what I want to do, I didn't expect to finish this so quick, but I mean, I gotta put black around the rim of the base. After I finish the bases, I always take my Abaddon black, Abaddon black, whatever, and do the rim so it looks nice and clean. But I was trying to just make sure he was nice and adhered to the base before I did that. Especially with him, since I did his base so like meticulously with placement and all, I wanted to make sure that he wasn't gonna come off of here. He's actually got some weight to him compared to my other minis. I guess because he's resin, maybe that's why it's a little heavier. I don't know, but he's heavier, and it's not because of the rock. Because I have rocks on most of my minis have rocks on their bases, just because. Well, my Chaos I'll have rocks on them. I didn't do any of my orcs like that because I didn't have the rocks then, but. Alright, we're gonna take. For this, I usually take the black straight from the pot. And we simply go around the edge, trying to be careful not to go on to the base itself, which is really the only thing you have to be worried about with this. After we spend all that time meticulously doing the base, the last thing you want to do is then paint black over it, and nice black streak in our jungle. Especially hard since you can't hold the base anymore once you start painting it. You gotta hold them somewhere else. There we go. A nice beautiful rim job. I said what I said. I was hoping somebody was listening. Oh, man. Alright, so just gotta let the rim dry, and he is all done. I don't know what I want to do next. I either want to do... I don't know if I want to do the Venom Crawler, or if I want to do one of the other units, because I was... This is gonna be a... This one's gonna be a... something to tackle for sure. I might actually do some pretty heavy airbrushing with this guy just to make him easier. And if that's the case, I'm definitely going to wait to start him, because what I had done with my other Chaos units is I airbrushed metallics, and then I did my, over top of them, my contrast paint. And I want him to match, so. And busting out the airbrush is like a whole big thing. Mainly because you gotta clean it. If you don't clean the airbrush right after you use it, then you gotta worry about it getting all gunked up and everything, and you don't want that, so. And he's got a lot of little details too. I think I might do him next though. I've been waiting to do the Venom Crawler. It looks really fun. He's gonna be kind of hard to paint just because like I'll have to hold it. I'll have to like lightly glue him to the base and then hold the base while I paint, because my holder's obviously not big enough for this huge base that he's on. They make a bigger holder. Yeah, like you can hold a big model or like 3 small models, I think, but I don't know if it's really worth it for me to buy that for the small amount of big models I usually ever work on. Especially Hole. Normally I wouldn't even do something like this Hole, but when I kept looking at him, I was like, how am I even going to do this in pieces? He had so many little tiny pieces, it just seemed like it was going to be harder to paint him in pieces than just as one whole thing, so I might actually do that while I'm thinking about it. He's just on here with a little piece of poster tack. I might just go ahead and lightly glue him to this base. That way, if I want to start airbrushing him, it'll be later on this week, because we'll definitely do our gaming stream tomorrow. I'm just gonna do very, very light dot. I'm gonna do like barely enough to hold him on, because you don't want to have to pry this sucker up. Just doing a few very light dots so he won't come off the base. And that way I can paint him, and when it's time to do the base, it won't be hard to break that little tiny bit of super glue and get him off of there. Let that dry. He's gonna be a cool ass model though. I love painting the big models, man. Like Gaz, I had so much fun painting Gaz, even though I did him in pieces. This will actually be my first big model that I'm doing all together, is one assembled piece. The only other big one I've done is Gaz, and I did him in like 4 pieces. 5 if you count his head, because I did his head by itself. Sorry, my connection's not that great, probably because of the weather. I keep seeing it go into the yellow and red, so if things are cutting out, I'm sorry. How are you looking, Snikrot? Oh, the black paint started to adhere to the... Nah. Almost dry. And then we'll do us a little photo shoot. Alrighty. I'm not sure what to do because like I can't really start on another model. But I've only been streaming for a little over an hour, so I don't really want to end already. And normally I would say, oh well, I can move to the other computer and we can game for a while, but once I get done, I have to clean all my stuff up, clean all my brushes, do all that stuff. Then I have to take the laptop down and put all that stuff away and do all that, and by then it's like it takes so much time to do all that stuff. Oh man, I've got that giant Cthulhu dude to paint too. I forgot about him. If that glue's dry yet, I don't want to grab him by that. Yeah, I've got this guy to paint too. I think he's gonna be really fun as well. I still gotta think of a color scheme for him though. I'm thinking a greenish color, but not like a dark, gritty green, more of like a brighter green. I don't know. I've done a lot of purple. I'm going to be doing a lot of purple on my new orcs too, so I don't want to do purple again. I'm not generally a big fan of red, and it doesn't really fit Cthulhu anyway. I think the green would be the way to go. Maybe I'll just do like a deep green instead of a gritty green. Here, yeah, I think the blue's good on that now. Cool. I was gonna say I probably should have waited to glue him because when I airbrush, I'm gonna need to go underneath him. Well, I don't really. Oh yeah, I am gonna have to go underneath him, aren't I? Because otherwise, I'm not gonna be able to get all his bottom parts. See? Easy enough to get off. That's why you only put like a tiny dot of super glue. Enough to hold him while I just painted, but if I needed him off, I can take him off. Because yeah, I forgot. I'm going to have to brush all under this. And if he's on the base, I'm not going to be able to easily get to any of that, so. Alright guys, well I think I'm just going to go ahead and call it a night for tonight. I know it's a short stream, but short stream's better than no stream, and lately no stream has been what I've been getting, so I'll take short stream over no stream. But tomorrow we will have a more regular length stream. We will fire up some Final Fantasy XIV, so any of my friends out there, Pew Pew, Kami, Royal, anybody who plays Final Fantasy XIV, if you are available tomorrow evening around this time, a little earlier than this, a little later than this, either way. I will be on. We'll do some FF14. I know, video games. It's terrible. I just have so many things I want to do, man. So many things. From painting to gaming to I gotta do more YouTube. It's been like a week and a half since my last video. I gotta do that. But yeah, I'm gonna head off. Expect photos of this guy here shortly. thank you guys for being here. As always, I do very much appreciate it. It's always good to hang out with you and chat with you. Big shout out again to King for gifting me this awesome model. I've had an amazing time painting him. Really excited to add him to my collection. And yeah. So you guys have a good rest of your night. Good day tomorrow, all that good stuff. And we'll see you back here tomorrow night for some Final Fantasy 14. Have a good one, guys. I will see you all later.